I call the member for Braddon.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker. I rise today in this auspicious meeting place as a representative of the North West, the West Coast and King Island in the electorate of Braddon in Tasmania. I do this alongside the 150 representatives from regions right across the nation. This is a level playing field. The very layout of this chamber embellishes that. It's a circle. It represents that everybody in this place has an equal voice and, importantly, an equal right to be heard. And that's a crucial part of our democracy. My role in this place is to represent every man, woman and child in my electorate. It's their voices that I strive to bring to this place, not necessarily my own. Today, in speaking about closing the gap, I have sought the wise counsel from those within my electorate. And amongst the people that I spoke to was a young Aboriginal leader, a leader in our region, and one with a true voice for Indigenous peoples. When I spoke with her yesterday, she said that she was in another meeting place, in an ancient land, a rugged land where waves were crashing in against the rocks. Bluff Point in the west coast of Tasmania, for 60,000 years, has been a sacred meeting place. She gave me her wise counsel, speaking from the generations that have gone before her, and with a clear and genuine view for the future that lies ahead. Her name is Emily, and I regard her as my sister, and I rate her most definitely as a true leader. Today, in this place of voices, she has lent me her voice without agenda, in a desire to find a better pathway forward for all Tasmanians and to move towards a brighter future for us all. She gave me a very clear message, and it gives me great pride to present that message, Deputy Speaker, in this place to the nation. Ya is the Palawa word for hello, and that is how our message begins. Ya, she says. As Indigenous peoples, we do not have a formal right or a formal say over our own affairs, and as a proud Aboriginal Tasmanian woman, I am diminished by it. I want to make a positive difference for all Tasmanians because my cultural obligation is to welcome people to country and to care for them. If I cannot provide the advice that looks after everyone together, then how are Australian people meant to know that they too belong to us and they too share in the oldest living culture in the world? Yeah, Emma says again. I want to make everyone welcome freely in my country and with respect so that we can live and work peacefully together. The Indigenous voice will help us make a difference so that people are not lonely anymore, that they have a connection to country and to Australia itself. I want a hand up so that you can hear me, not a hand down that speaks on my behalf. I want to belong to you so that you can belong to me and we can belong to the oldest living culture in the world. If we welcome each other in government and parliament, we can become equal in how we care for country. I want to share our culture with everyone, and I want to stop hurting because our peoples are not allowed to have a proper say in our lives. This government can make a difference with the Indigenous voice for this place. And so to my dear friend Dr. Emily, I deliver your message to this place and to a nation, and it would do us all to take note of it. Our government has to work to do more to ensure that Indigenous advice is formally included in all process and that we're open to other parts of the Australian community. We have made a great start in the National Agreement on Closing the Gap to ensure Indigenous organisations have a greater say in funding outcomes, and it's important that we continue to build on that goodwill. The voice means that many Close the Gap targets will now have a greater chance of succeeding because we now are working together, as it should be. To hear from all Australians equally, in a process that is equal for all, that must be our goal, Deputy Speaker. And I am proud to support the government's policy to create that pathway so that we can stand together on issues that are important to us all as Australians. May it please the House.